Hi everyone, my name is John Cottrell. This is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. And if you are a beginner to yoga, this is a great class to start with because we move slowly, we take our time, I break down poses, and we're not doing a whole lot of postures. And so that you can really get the sense of some of the postures that you might experience in other yoga classes. It's also a gentle practice because we like to use props as a way to support your practice and also to continue that theme of taking care of yourself. So here's some things you might want to have for your soft flow practice. You may want to have a blanket, and that might be to sit on. Also, we're going to be on our hands and knees for a small portion of the practice, and so that's a nice way to protect your knees and your wrists. So a blanket, and you may want to have a couple of yoga blocks. Here are my blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, maybe a couple of books like big dictionaries or encyclopedias, something that's firm that you can stack. That's always nice to have. And then a big pillow or a bolster. This is a yoga bolster. It's just a very firm cushion, basically. So that could be from your bed or sofa, something like that. And that's nice to use for your Shavasana practice, which is our meditation at the end of class. Here's some other things that we will be using for class. You may want to have a yoga strap or some kind of belt-like tool like this. And if you don't have a strap, then you may want to grab just like a hand towel, because we really don't need it to be very long. Just something like this would be perfect. So like a hand towel that will just kind of roll up like that. So either a strap or even a short towel like that. So that's it for our practice. We're going to be doing binds today, yoga binds. And I like doing yoga binds because it actually has that flavor of, when you see yoga, at least from my history and thinking about yoga, before even I started doing yoga, I used to think of, yoga was just something that people did and they just tied themselves in knots and just these odd kind of circus-like positions. So binds kind of resemble that a little bit. It's a way of kind of twisting and putting ourselves into very intricate patterns and positions in our body. We're not going to get too incredibly in depth with them, but just basically an introduction to some binds that I like. And I'll talk more about binds as we practice. So we like to begin seated. So find a comfortable seat just on your mat or on your soft blanket. You can cross your legs or extend your legs if that feels more comfortable for you. And just sit up as tall as you can with a nicely extended spine. You can close your eyes or just soften your eyes. You might take a soft gaze forward or downward. And take a moment to tune into your breath or get reacquainted with your breath. You might do that by taking a slow, deep breath in and a complete breath out, either through your nose or your mouth. Do that a couple times. So you get a good sense of your breath, how it sounds, how it feels. And then just settle into slow, easy breath. This is our silent breathing meditation, just to prepare for our practice together. Good. Keep this connection. And to go a little deeper, if you're able, just breathe a little slower. A nice long breath in, followed by a slow breath out. And as you breathe in, just feel breath rising upward, slowly filling up your lungs. Feel that nice expansion across your chest. Then again, followed by that slow exhale. And as you release the breath, we're going to connect to our center by gently contracting the muscles of our abdominal system. So that feels like pulling the belly in towards your spine. So again, an inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine, filling up your lungs. Your exhale, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles engaging here. Good, do that several times. Good. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths, and we'll add our movement to this breathing practice. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out across the room, reaching all the way up. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach high. And exhale, extend your arms out as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you, and bring your arms back down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching out with some effort, rising up. Now we're following the pace of the breath. Finishing the inhale here at the top. Begin your exhale, extend the arms out. Now you're still engaging your core, so feel your navel draw in towards spine. Complete the breath. And then just continue on your own, breathing at your own pace and allowing the movement of your body to follow the pace of your breath. As you're moving in slow motion, just notice the sensations that are arising in your body. Maybe that lengthening through the sides of your body, the energy in your arms, hands, and reaching out through your fingertips. Continue to feel the lengthening of your spine as you sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, don't forget that core connection. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, there's no rush. Just let your arms rest down by your side. Maybe your hands are just resting in your lap for a moment, and just return to that place of stillness. Feel your breath. Listen to the sound of your breath. From here, we're going to take a mild back bend. So you're going to bring your hands behind you. Now, if you're sitting up on something, you might just lean back onto your fingertips. If you're lower, you can bring your palms to the mat. Either one's correct. So with your arms behind you, actively feel the shoulders also pull back. Feel that nice expansion and opening up through the chest. You're going to tip your chin up just a little bit, and this creates our seated mild back bend. We're going to inhale and press into the mat. Feel the energy in your arms. Also feel breath rising, filling up your lungs once again. Feel more of that expansion across your chest. As you exhale, draw navel in. Also feel your shoulder blades squeeze together behind you. Again, breathing in, you'll press into the ground with the hands. Feel the energy in your arms. Breath rising, fill up your lungs. Exhaling, navel to spine, drawing shoulder blades together behind you. We're actively providing more sensation in the body. Feel this. The activation of your inner body. 2 more breaths. After the second breath, just lower your chin to look forward. Walk your hands toward yourself so you can sit up nice and tall again. And your arms and hands can just rest in your lap. Pause for a moment. And since we just did a back bend, we'll take a forward fold. So if your legs are crossed like mine are, we're going to uncross the legs and place the soles of the feet together. This is our cobbler's pose, or bound angle is the proper name. So it's a hip opener. So, and also what you can do is actually use your stacked books or blocks or even just some small pillows just to tuck underneath your legs, just in case your legs don't reach the floor. And I don't expect the legs to come all the way down to the ground. And if they don't, just tuck something underneath so the legs can rest right there on the objects. Hold on to your shins or ankles so you can sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. Exhale, pull belly in and start to hinge forward just a tiny bit, not very far at all, maybe just to here. Hold for a moment, breathing in and out. And we're going to continue this slow progression of folding forward, at first with a fully extended spine. So a nice inhale. And as you exhale, pull belly in and hinge forward a tiny bit more. You can pause at any point. You can stop and just hold that sensation. Maybe you're feeling a little stretch or release quality in the inner thighs. If you want to go a little deeper, you may just dip your chin down a little, let your back round, and then fold a little bit more. Again, our soft flow practice is really about taking our time, not forcing ourselves into any pose. Even if you could go all the way down towards the floor here, it's not necessary. You're certainly not obligated to do so. You're not expected to do so. You just want to come to a place where oh, I feel a nice stretch in my back. I feel this in my legs. And you can hold this for a period of time. We want to maintain this sense of calm throughout our practice. Let's take 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, just notice if your back did round. If it did, just lift your chin up a little bit to look forward. That will start that re-extension of your spine. To help rise back up, you can just place your hands on your mat and just press, just guiding your way back up into your nice and long and tall through the spine. Once again, just pause, take a breath, and get ready for our next pose. So let's move our props out of the way for a moment. We're going to come to our hands and knees. So just move your body in a gentle way to your hands and knees. And here's where you might want to use your blanket if you weren't already sitting on one. This is just for some padding for your hands and knees. If you don't have a blanket handy, you can always just fold your mat. Like maybe fold your mat towards you like this for your hands, or fold it inward from the sides to protect your knees. So we'll start in this tabletop posture. We're going to move through 2 poses, cat and cow pose. And they flow together. Starting with cow, it's an inhale, so we look up or forward, slight arch of the back, a little back bend effect. Exhale, let's round it all out. Tucking your chin in towards your chest, feel that roundedness in the spine. Inhale to reverse it back into cow pose. Arch the back, it's a little back bend. And then we exhale into cat pose. And as you're doing so, you'll feel your belly button pull up towards spine. Make that an active movement. And just continue this flow, a nice undulation through the spine, feeling that rocking sensation through the pelvis. What we're doing is making space. We did that initially with breathing expansively, opening ourselves up. We're doing it here, just creating more space through gentle movements. As I mentioned, our practice is going to involve binds. And sometimes binds, especially in real life, it constricts us. It binds us. It creates obstacles in our beings, in our doings. And so we're going to demonstrate that and replicate that in our yoga practice. And the intention is to feel yourself in those binds, but also remaining calm while in those binds and knowing that it's a temporary situation and that you can get out of those binds. All right, take 1 more breath in and out. So that's our intention today. Return to a tabletop posture. We'll pause once again. Take a breath. And then from here, we'll crawl off of our blanket. We can set that to the side. You can use that again at any time. Stay on your hands and knees on your mat. We'll get ready for downward facing dog. So you're going to step your hands forward a little bit. As you step them forward, spread out your fingers pretty wide here so you feel a stretch between each finger, and then press or lean forward into your palms so they go flat on your mat. Press with some firmness there so your arms feel energized. Keep that energy in your body. Go ahead and tuck your toes. We're going to do another cat and cow to get ready to move into the next position. Inhale, cow. So look up or forward, arching the back a little bit. Exhale, round it all out into cat.
Navel pulls to spine. Hold the position. And then lift your knees off of your mat, hips up into the air until you form this upside down V shape in your body. Hold for a second. And then look at the space between your hands or look forward and just start walking forward, maybe just to the center of your mat until your feet are firmly pressing into the ground. You'll be in a deep forward fold for a moment. We're going to inhale and slide your hands up the legs, maybe to your knees or thighs, rising up until we're at this tabletop position. This is half forward fold. Hold here. We're going to keep breathing in this position. Keep a slight bend in the knees here. Long spine like you were a tabletop. You want to feel like your hips and tailbone are moving towards the wall behind you, while the very top of your head is pointing and even moving you forward. Your focus is down. That way your neck stays neutral. Hold for one more breath. And then start shifting your weight back a little bit into your heels. Bend your knees. Let your hips drop like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward. Spread your wings or take your arms out to the side. Press heels into the ground to straighten your legs so you can stand up as tall as you can, reaching up into the air. Big stretch. Then exhale. Go ahead and bring your arms down by your side. Right here. So this is our first standing position, mountain pose. You still want to create that spaciousness in the body. Nice groundedness, good connection to the floor, deep breaths. Good. Let's do our half salute once again. Basically, we're just going to fold forward and come right back up, taking our time. Follow me when you're ready. Inhale, reach into the air, big stretch. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees a little. Fold slowly, make your way down. Now, you don't have to touch your toes. Maybe your hands land at your shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs. Fully extend your spine. You can stay here if you want on your exhale or fold going back down. Now, if you do want to touch your toes, just bend your knees a whole lot more. You may feel a curvature in the spine. Let your head relax here. Sometimes we lift our heads, and that's actually a bind. We add tension to our necks, our shoulders, our jaw. If you can, go loose. Shake it out. Even roll your shoulders a little bit. Shake your head gently and even yawn. Open your mouth wide like you're yawning. Ah. Just release tension in your mouth and jaw and neck. A little sway left and right can feel good for your low back and hips. When you're ready to come out, we'll shift the weight back into the heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down. Look forward. Spread your wings. Inhale. Stand up tall. Reach up high, creating that strong straight line in your body. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Hold here. Take a couple of breaths. Mountain pose. Very nice. We're going to move through a new variation of kind of our warrior sequence that I taught, I think, a couple weeks ago. So go ahead and follow me. We'll start in mountain pose, nice and tall. Take a couple of breaths. Just follow me. From here, you're just going to start shifting your weight back, or sorry, toward your right foot. Shift your weight to your right foot. Keep the knees soft, by the way. Okay, weight's in the right foot. Ground it into the mat so that your left foot feels lighter, so you can start to slide it back behind you until your toes leave the ground, just an inch or so. And once they've left the ground, you're just going to set that foot down behind you, just a very natural step back. The right knee will naturally bend here in front, and the left foot might even turn out at a natural angle. This is going to be our variation of Warrior One, even though the stance isn't very wide. This is where we're going to be. So there isn't too much binding in the waistline. This may allow you to be tall and really face forward so your hips are square, meaning they're going to reach out. Your hip bones are pointing directly out to the left and right. Go ahead and inhale, take your arms up into the air. Reach and we'll hold for a breath or two. Okay, it feels very different from a regular Warrior One when the feet are farther apart. Here, I want you to feel more of that spaciousness in the body. Okay, we're going to inhale, reach high. As you exhale, bring your arms down, place your hands on your hips. You're just going to hinge forward with the upper body. We're just starting to send weight and energy forward into this front foot. Not much, because all we're going to do is just step forward right here.
into mountain pose. Just stand up tall. Let's take both arms back up into the air and exhale, arms down by your side. So that's a very simple sequence. Alrighty, moving to a variation of our warrior one. Let's do the other side. Let's keep the softness in the knees. Start shifting weight into your left foot. Just press firmly into the ground with the left foot. Start to slide the light right foot back until you can lift the toes off the ground. So you are balancing on one foot for a moment. And then step back and down into the posture. Right there. Nice natural knee bend in the front. And if you can, align this left knee over left ankle. Just be aware if you're lunging too far forward. Just pull it back like that. And then right foot will turn out at an angle naturally. And that's nice because it doesn't bind up that right knee. Let's make sure we're tall, facing forward, hip bones pointing to the left and right. Inhale, sweep the arms up into the air. Exhale, we'll hold. And just keep breathing several more times. Again, our variation of warrior one. Good. We'll inhale, reach a little higher. On the exhale, bring the arms down, place your hands on your hips. Again, just noticing that nice alignment there. Start to hinge forward, putting some weight forward into the left foot so you can easily step forward again. Mountain pose, standing up tall. Let's reach up into the air and exhale, arms down by your side. Let's pause, take a breath or two. All right, follow me as we go through a little bit more traditional sun salute. We'll break it down. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air, big stretch. As we exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back and down like you're sitting into a chair behind you. Slowly fold. Maybe your hands again land at your shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs, fully extending spine. As you exhale, slowly fold. Let the back round, bend the knees until you can bring both hands to the ground if possible. Start walking or stepping both feet back to the back edge of your mat until you form this long plank-like position. And we just call it plank right here. Breathe in. As you exhale, bend your knees a little and then send your hips up into the air. This is our return to downward facing dog. Adjust your feet if you need to, adjust your hands. And by that, you might even just take them a little wider. That might give you a little bit more stability. Keep a softness in your knees or bend the knees a little. From here, we're going to inhale, extend right leg up behind you. It doesn't have to lift high, just reach back, energy through your toes. As you exhale, bend the right knee. Bring the knee in toward your chin or chest. Shift your body weight forward so your shoulders are now stacked over your wrists. From there, just set your right foot down onto your mat, your toes. Then set your left knee down onto the mat. That's going to allow you to pick up, literally pick up your right foot and step it up higher on your mat next to where your right hand is. Relift the left knee. This puts us in a wider stance I call a runner's lunge. If the weight is forward towards the front edge of your mat, we need to pull the hips back towards the back edge of your mat so that your hands feel light. You can literally just float up maybe to this point if you can see me. Bring both hands to your thigh. Push into the thigh to help lift your upper body until it's straight and long, but at a 45-degree angle right here. We want to anchor the body by pressing the left heel towards the floor. It'll send more energy and effort behind us for more balance. Squeeze your thighs or inner legs towards each other. That'll engage your legs. Take your arms out and up, reaching into the air. Now we're in a high lunge. It's almost like warrior one, but the left heel is lifted behind you. From here, we're going to inhale and exhale, turn left heel to the floor. You'll turn sideways. Good. Bring your arms down to parallel. This is warrior two. Hold for a moment just to be in the posture. All right, from here, you're going to bend this right arm at 90 degrees, just like this, okay? And then send that arm forward, like you're reaching forward with that forearm, which angles the upper half of the body. Then you're going to rotate by bringing this right arm down to your right thigh and left hand up into the air. Another modification of the pose. Warrior two, we have a wide stance, but you don't have to bring this right hand down to the ground. Perfectly fine to rest it here on your thigh. Now with the left hand, you're going to bring it down behind you to your low back. The palm is facing the back of the room, and then the top of the hand is on my low back right here. Even roll this left shoulder back. Maybe do that 2 or 3 times, just little circles here, and then hold it back. Alrighty, this is kind of an introduction to the binds that we're getting into, okay? And this is because we're going to be binding this position, not just yet though. We're going to inhale, re-extend this left arm back up into the air. Exhale, slowly turn towards the ground. Look at the ground. Carefully fold. Bringing your hands back down to the mat. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. This is our return to our runner's lunge. Push into the ground with the hands so your arms feel strong. It'll transfer the weight into the hands so you can slide that right foot back until you're in plank pose here. That strong straight line. We're going to take a quick break, bring the knees to the ground, okay? Sit back into hero pose, okay? Just very briefly, because we're going to take a seat. I know we haven't done the left side yet, but we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to swing the legs around to the front, like so. Just taking a quick little break here. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. Strong, straight legs, flexed feet will actually keep the legs straight and strong. Place your palms on the mat next to your hips. You're going to push into the ground to help it lengthen through the spine and even roll the shoulders back, squeeze. Squeezing shoulder blades together, okay? Take some deep breaths. You want to feel like there's an energy moving up your torso, through your spine, right out through the crown of your head, as well as through your legs, all the way down through the heels of your feet. That's the in-breath. And as you exhale, squeeze, draw navel in towards spine. Also feel the shoulder blades squeeze together behind you. Let's take a gentle forward fold. We're going to inhale, take the arms up into the air, reach. As you exhale, just bring your hands down, your arms down in front, and just let them land where they land right here on your legs somewhere. We're going to inhale, sit up even taller. Exhale, pull belly in with your hands. Just take a walk down your legs, hinge forward a tiny bit, right about there. Now you can stay just like this. For me, I feel a stretch through the hamstrings. It's not intense, and I don't really want it to be intense, but this feels fine. I could hold this for a while. If you'd like, you can inhale, more extension through spine, exhale, pull belly in, and maybe take another step down the legs, hinge forward a tiny bit more. Again, not necessary. If you can reach your toes, that's fine. You don't have to touch your toes. A couple more breaths. All right, we're going to come back up, re-extending the spine until you're nice and tall. This is called staff pose, okay, like a stick. All right. And then place your hands behind you so you can kind of lean back. You can kind of lean back kind of comfortably here. So you can easily bend your knees. And so you have your heels on the ground, feet are still flexed. With the hands on the mat, push so you can extend the spine. You're going to feel your chest kind of push forward, shoulders back. Keep leaning back just by bending your elbows. Okay. We're doing what I call a variation of boat pose, boat. Because at this angled position, creating this little V shape right here with your legs and torso, that's a little V right there. Tip your chin up a little bit there too. We're going to inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, pull belly in to engage your core. Now, boat pose is certainly much more intense than this. This is a mild variation, again, allows you to stay in the posture longer, which may even allow you to get stronger. Inhale, lengthen through spine. Exhale, pull belly in. Feel the muscles contract. Just a couple more breaths. So a nice variation of boat. All right, we can soften things up. Alrighty. Now maybe just leaning to one side, you can swing the legs back behind you. Come back to hands and knees. Do a quick round of cat and cow. Let's inhale, lifting, head and heart, arching the back a little. Exhale, round. Do that 2 more times. Just creating that same undulation and spaciousness in the body. Want to feel the spaciousness. Then we're going to be progressing to our binds and then getting out of those binds.
Downward facing dog. Step your hands forward, spread out your fingers. Press palms firmly into the ground, strong arms. Tuck your toes. With a good exhale, lift your knees and hips into the air. Adjust your feet, adjust your hands if you'd like. Okay, we got the other side to do. So let's inhale, extend left leg into the air, reach back. Exhale, bend this left knee, bring it in underneath you towards your chin or chest, shifting body weight forward, shoulders over wrists. Let your foot naturally come down to the mat, doesn't matter where, and then set your right knee onto the mat. Reach back, let's go get that left foot, pick it up, place it up a little higher on your mat. Relift your right knee. Your weight is probably forward, let's find balance. Pull the hips back towards the back edge of your mat. So you can start to rise up easily onto fingertips because there's no more weight in the hands. Then walk your hands up to your thigh, push into your thigh so you can feel that nice extension of spine at this 45-degree angle. Hold here. Push that right heel towards the ground. That's our anchoring. Hug the legs in towards center like you're squeezing a block between the knees. Feel the legs fire up. Then sweep your arms out to the side, then up into the air. High lunge. Hold for a moment as you're able. Keep squeezing inner thighs towards each other. That engaged lower portion of the body will help you to stabilize and balance. It's okay if you lose your balance because we always lose our balance. Let's inhale. Exhale, pivot right heel to the ground. Turning sideways, bring arms down to parallel. Reach. Holding for a moment. Checking in with alignment. We want to be sure our left knee and toes are pointing forward. Okay, let's bend this left arm at 90 degrees. Reach forward with that forearm, angled upper body. Rotate the body, bring left forearm down to left thigh. Right hand reaching up into the air. Good extension, nice opening. Then from here, we'll bring that right hand down behind you to your low back. Palm is opened. Roll that right shoulder a few times just to feel some mobility through the shoulder. Pull it back to keep opening up through the chest. We'll hold for a couple more breaths. This is our setup for our bind. All right, let's re-extend the right arm up into the air. Reach. Exhale, carefully turn to face the ground. Slowly lower yourself so you can bring your palms to the ground. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Push palms flat into the mat so you can slide this left foot back. Plank pose. Let's return to down dog. Bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air. Look at the space between your hands. Step forward just enough until you can get your feet flat on your mat. That might be the center of your mat. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to your knees or thighs, extending your spine. You can stay here on the exhale or fold on your exhale, either one. Then shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward, sweep your arms out to the side, stand up nice and tall. Reach as high as you can, big stretch. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice, good. You can even kind of shake this out. Now, our first binding posture is actually going to be standing, okay? And we're going to do a variation of what's called eagle pose. I'm just going to adjust my mat here. Now, for this, I want to suggest that you bring in your books or your blocks, whatever you got that's stackable, okay? So I've got my stacked blocks. They're on my right side, but let's imagine that's on your left side, okay? So blocks on one side of you there. Okay, we'll say it's on your left. So the block's on your left. So you're going to shift your weight into your left foot. Press into the ground with the left foot. Softness in the knees here. Don't forget about that. We don't want to lock out our knees here. So soft knees right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and just place your hands on your hips. Okay, just hold that for a moment. Hands on hips. And with hands on hips, you want to feel like you're pushing your pelvis down and then feel like you're getting taller in the spine. Okay, weights in the right foot, hands on hips. Exhale, we draw belly in. We're going to float the left foot up, cross this leg, and step right there on those blocks. So we're crossing the legs. But because it's balancing,
that block, those stacked blocks can act as balance. So basically you are just crossing the legs. The legs can touch. If they can touch, let them touch and actually squeeze. See if you can squeeze the legs together here. Okay, so we're forming a bind in the legs. We're going to do a similar thing with the arms. Alrighty. See if there's an evenness in the hips right here. Good balance. Then we're going to take the arms up into the air. Reach up. As you exhale, bring them forward towards me. Okay? And then drop your right arm so it's lower than the left. Cross the arms so they make an X at your elbows. Flip your palms up and then lift your palms like this. Okay, that's as far as we're going to take this. Eagle, we actually wrap the arms all the way around, and you're welcome to do that. But if you'd like, you can just kind of keep it open like a V. Okay, and we'll create, this will be our bind. So this is our variation of eagle pose. Legs are crossed. We've got balance because we've got that stacked a set of books or blocks. Squeeze your thighs together, pull belly in, and we've got our arms wrapped. Either just crossed here or wrapped around like this if you can. That can put added pressure in the shoulders for some of us. And so if that is the case, you can just open it, okay? All righty. Let's find stabilization again by uncrossing the legs first, placing the right foot back down onto the ground. Let's unwrap the arms, drop them down, reach out, reach up. Reopening of the body. Exhale, bring your arms back down by your side. So that's an example of getting into a bind, being in the bind, hopefully still being able to breathe deeply, calmly, and then that sensation of getting out of the bind, okay? All right, let's go ahead and switch sides with the blocks or books or whatever you're using there. And if you don't have blocks, another thing you could do, let me just show you quickly. What you could do is just cross at your shins maybe, and maybe your toes are on the floor, and you can just still squeeze your thighs together, okay? So that's another variation if you happen to not have blocks. Okay, so now the blocks are on your right side. Start shifting weight into the right foot, softness in the knees. Go ahead and place hands on hips, push pelvis down, feel tall. Take a breath. As you exhale, pull belly in. Let's go ahead and pick up the left foot. We'll cross. Place the toes on your stacked books or blocks. Situate yourself, almost like you're sitting, okay? So bend the knees and feel like you're sitting, okay? And you've got the leg cross, and you get the squeeze of the legs together. That's our bind, okay? Whenever you're ready, whenever you got your balance there, let me just adjust. There we go. We're going to inhale, take the arms all the way up, forward and down, just halfway, right there. Let's drop the left arm lower than the right. Cross, making an X with the elbows, flip the palms up, and then lift. And there's our V shape, or wrap it all up if you want to, okay? Here is fine. Sit, squeeze thighs, squeeze belly, squeeze arms. Another nice thing about binding postures and what I really like, it reminds me of acupressure, okay? If you ever had that treatment done, kind of the squeezing of muscles, the binding of the body, getting into muscle fibers, muscle tissue, connective tissue as a way to help release tight, bound up spots in the body. So this is very similar. 2 more breaths. Okay, let's find stabilization after the second breath. We'll start by finding balance on 2 feet. Uncross the legs, plant the feet. Let's unwrap the arms, reach out, reach up. Big stretch, good. Exhale, arms back down by your side. And if you like, shake that out. Maybe a little roll of the shoulders, even a little movement in the hips, bend your knees, okay? Even a little stretch through your toes if you want, okay? So that's our binding in our standing position, okay? Now we're gonna get into our bind in that side angle position. This is where you're gonna need your strap or your towel. So let's get set up. Okay, let's first just move our blocks out of the way. Let's bring in the strap or towel. So if you have like a short hand towel, you want to, in its long position, you might even kind of roll it up, okay? So you can use your towel, okay, or a strap. So we'll just go ahead and unroll the strap, whatever you're using. Okay? And go ahead and put it on your left side. Whatever your tool you're using, put it on your left side on the mat or on the floor. And towel or your strap on your left side on the floor or on the mat. We're going to come to mountain pose. Hang on one second. Here we go. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and make your way down towards your toes. Slow forward fold to your shins or ankles. Inhale, rise up halfway, nicely extended spine. On your exhale, bend your knees a whole lot so you can bring your palms down to the mat. Step or walk both feet back into plank pose. Inhale for length in the spine. As you exhale, bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Quick adjustment of your hands and feet. We're still in motion. You're going to inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reach. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring it in underneath you towards chest, shifting body weight forward. If you can, bring foot up towards the hand. If you need to do what we did earlier, you can do that as well. Go ahead and turn left heel to the floor behind you, so both feet feel grounded. Pull the hips back a little bit. We're going to start to rise, but before rising up all the way, grab your strap or your towel in your left hand. Because I'm going to do my strap this first time here. Okay, we're going to inhale and reach up into the air. So you've got the strap or towel in your left hand like this. You're going to exhale and open into warrior two. Okay, so I have my strap in my hand here. Okay, so I'm going to bend this right arm, reach forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms so the right arm will come to the thigh and the strap is going to drop down behind me. Okay, it's okay if the towel is up here too, because what's going to happen here is you're going to bring your left hand down to your low back. Okay, and then you kind of create this tail with your strap or your towel. And if you need to bend or round the back a little bit, take this right hand and reach so you can grab your tail right there, the other end of your strap or towel. And that's our bind. Now, what you could do is kind of creep the hands closer towards each other, maintaining this connection of your arm, your right arm on your thigh, and the left arm down behind you. This will be our bind today. Let's hold for a couple breaths. Now, in the more traditional version of the pose, we're binding just by clasping hands, folded fingers, or even holding onto a wrist. It's a deeper sensation for sure. All right, before we unbind, just go ahead and just drop the strap, okay, or the towel. Let's re-extend left arm up into the air. We'll turn so we can bring hands down to the ground, plant the palms, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. There's our runner's lunge. Press firmly into the ground with the hands, slide right foot back, plank, hold. Let's go ahead and bring knees to the floor. Okay, and just so we can set up the other side, okay? So let's set up the strap or the towel, whatever you happen to be using, on your right side. And once you're all set there, return to your downward facing dog. Hands in front, spread out your fingers, firm connection to the ground with your palms, lifting knees and hips. Then when you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up, reach back. Exhale, bend left knee, bring it in underneath you, shifting body weight forward, shoulders over wrists, bringing foot up closer to the hand if you're able, or pick it up and place it there. Let's turn right heel to the ground, press it into the mat so the feet are firm. We're moving into a warrior one position. Before we rise, grab your strap or towel. I'm going to use the towel this time. And then reach forward or out to the side and bring both arms up, straight up into the air for warrior one. You've got the towel or strap in your right hand. Then opening to warrior two. Setting it up. Bend the left arm. Let's reach forward. Angled upper body. We can bring this left forearm to left thigh. Taking right hand up into the air with your prop. Good extension, reaching upward, and then we'll bring that right hand down to your low back until you create your tail. Now you'll need to bend or fold a little bit so you can take left hand and reach underneath to grab the towel. You can also walk hands a little closer together to create more of that binding sensation, which you may feel is maybe your forearm pressing gently into your inner left thigh a little bit. That's that acupressure effect. It's probably not too strong or intense in this case, especially in this type of class, but maybe in other styles of yoga, this would be more of an intense feeling. But again, I just want you to feel how you can be in a bind, still remain calm, breathing deeply, and then we'll get out of the bind. We're simply just going to release the strap or towel to the floor. We'll inhale, re-extend right hand up, reopening the body. Exhale, turn, bring hands down to the ground, plant them firmly into the mat, rise up on tiptoes behind you. We'll slide the left foot back. Here's plank. Hold for a second, bring knees to the ground. And we're going to move into child's pose. So what you may do, if you want, you can even bring in a blanket if you need padding for your knees. That's just an option. Even take the knees a little wider on your mat, giving you a little bit more space for your hips so you can sit back. Now, if your hips don't go all the way down to the heels, that's okay. Here's a couple of alternatives. You can keep the hips high and maybe bring your elbows to the ground, something like this. Sometimes we call this puppy pose. Or you can even take that big pillow and kind of tuck it here so you really kind of have something to sit on right there as you bring your arms down to the ground. You can even bring that stacked set of blocks in for your head. So this is a variation of child's pose. Deep breaths. We're going back to that expansiveness in the body. So we've put ourselves into some binds, mild in this case, but binds nonetheless. And then reopening the body to recreate space. So in child's pose, we have this nice roundedness in the back, good spaciousness in the entire back body. So breathe deeply into your back body. Imagine that you're breathing into the backside of your lungs. Just as when we take deep breaths, we think of kind of the front portion of the body. So in this case, think about your back body. Let's take 3 more breaths. Moving very slowly, you can just start to rise up out of your child's pose. Move your props out of the way. We're going to be taking a seat and then lying down. We're moving to the final portion of our practice. So go ahead and lie down onto your back. Take your time to get there. You can certainly use props to support your body. You might want to lie down on a blanket or use it for some cushioning for your head if you want. But do come down onto your back. And once you're here, bend your knees, feet flat on the ground. You're going to move into a supported bridge pose. So I've got 2 blocks because I'm going to sit on the blocks. As you exhale, you're going to lift your hips up into the air and slide your props underneath you to sit on. We're going to hold here for several breaths, just so you kind of get this opening through the front body. So our child's pose helped us to kind of expand and open the back body. And the child's pose is considered a forward fold. Now we're in a back bend or heart opener, opening the whole front side of the body. So that same idea of creating spaciousness through the front side now. Relieving ourselves of the binds that we experience. And that could be physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever you feel ties you down. Deep breaths here. Let's hold a little bit longer.
Let's take 3 more slow breaths. When you're ready, you just press your feet into the ground to give you energy to lift your hips so you can slide your blocks out from underneath you and then just come back down to the ground. From here, just hug both knees into your chest and maybe some gentle movements here. I like to do circles here, just circling the knees creates some spaciousness for me in my low back and my hips. You can do this if this feels nice. You can rock forward and back, left and right. Even take the legs wide to get a little inner thigh stretch if you'd like. And then from here, whenever you're ready, no rush, we'll move into a twist. We'll start by taking the knees down to the left side as you extend your right arm off to the right side. Now, for me personally, I get a little bound up in my low back. That's where I tend to hold tightness, tension. And so sometimes even just a gentle twist, I can even soften this up a little bit. A gentle twist, just like this, actually helps relieve some of that tension in my low back. And I had to remind myself that I don't have to go too hard or forceful or deep into this twist to feel something, but keep it mild. So just remember that quality in this twist and other poses, perhaps. You can take them like at 60% rather than 100%. They can be just as effective and even more so. Let's bring the knees back up to center. Hold for a moment just to realign and rebalance. And then you can take your knees down to the other side. Again, not forcing the twist. If you need to use props, that might even help you soften the pose a little bit. Maybe a pillow or block, something like this, so you don't over twist or over rotate. Might keep things a little softer. We'll take 2 more breaths, or if you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, you're certainly welcome to, that's for sure. But whenever you're ready to move, you'll just come back to center, and we'll just take the final minutes in Shavasana, or just some relaxing position that feels great for you. Feel restorative, meditative, certainly relaxed. And that can be just lying flat on your back, Shavasana or corpse pose, or bring in some props to support your body, maybe your head or your back, or even bend your knees and tuck a pillow or a cushion underneath your knees, or even elevate your feet. You can close your eyes, or you just gaze upward, noticing your breath. Even pay attention to the quality of your breath. Were you able to maintain kind of the same quality of breath throughout this practice?
Stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I begin to complete the practice, you're welcome to stay here comfortably in Shavasana. Whenever you're ready to move, maybe start that movement with 5 slow, deep breaths. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, start to roll onto either side of your body, just to a nurturing pose, and then a gentle press up to seated. Take your time. Now, if you're still in Shavasana, please feel free to stay just like that. And if you made it to seated, just join me here. Just sitting up nice and tall, nicely extended spine. Arms just relaxed down by your side. Take a nice breath in and out. And to complete our practice, we'll inhale, extend the arms out and up, reach high into the sky. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Once you arrived here, take one more breath in and out, filling up your heart space. And as we complete our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.